Welcome to another episode of Future Included podcast. My name is Richard Cummins, and we speak to interesting people that are leveraging tech for future, good, and benefit of their businesses. Today, I'm joined by Demi.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
I'm really interested to understand about your story and learn about your background and what you're currently doing today. If you don't mind giving our audience a brief intro to who you are and what you do.
Cool, brief intro. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. I'm a brand strategist and brand designer. My background is in graphic design, but in more recent years, I pivoted more in brand strategy and design for the innovation and culture space. So I have a lot of experience working for tech startups, helping them keep their branding consistent and in order to align their visuals and their feelings to their entire vision, basically. So I've done that in-house and I've done that in freelance. I also run a studio called Bravey Studio, which does exactly that. It's a brand identity studio that helps cultural and innovation-led businesses stand out and attract their ideal customers. I also run a platform called the Black Design Circle that helps Black graphic designers get support and collaborate with one another and network and hopefully get into the industry and get their first jobs and things like that. So I do a whole bunch of things.
Incredible. Good to hear that you're giving back as well. How did you get into the space in terms of like brand design? Was you always inquisitive when you was younger about design and graphics and arts? Like, what was your background?
It's an interesting question. When I was in school, a lot of my friends were out playing football. I suck at football. So I was the guy in the IT room messing around with PowerPoint, drawing weird things on paint and all that kind of stuff. So I always experimented. So I've been using Adobe Photoshop since I was maybe 12.
Wow.
So that was like my inception into it. My eldest brother, my two brothers, like they're quite techie as well. And and my dad is quite techie. So by nature, I ended up in that kind of space. But I've always been curious and inquisitive. And I'm the sort of person that if I want to know something, I'm going to Google it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I go to ChatGPT and ask it, you see what I mean? And, I've just always been that way. So it's helped me in my creativity as well.
Okay. And in terms of like, what was your formal or informal education that got you to, establishing a career in this area? Because I think a lot of designers, they have that challenge between wanting to be creative and not working, in a confined kind of like corporate space. Like, what was your entry point and like how did you upskill?
Okay, so it's quite interesting because I went through the expected route where it's just like you go to uni, get a degree.
And what were you studying?
Graphic design.
Oh, you actually did
studied
graphic design. Okay.
Which is quite interesting because the reason why I started my community is because a lot of people that look at me didn't go to university for graphic design, so they just started off by themselves.
Yeah.
So they didn't have that kind of structured learning. But I went. University was a mixed bag for me, but and I didn't really enjoy it as much. But it did teach me the fundamentals, so that's my takeaway from it. Yeah. But I got into it because it was either art or something else that could potentially make me money. I don't like being broke, so I said, but not like graphic design is the most lucrative job in the world, but like art was too kind of subjective and stuff. I am a natural problem solver, so something that, like designing for marketing and designing for branding just really attracted me, and I was already using Photoshop, so I might as well go down that route.
Sounds like you're embedded in the Adobe ecosystem, right?
Literally, yeah.
In terms of like your creativity, like, and tech tools enabling what you do you see them as a threat? Because a lot of graphic design, like even for this podcast, like right now, in terms of me historically maybe having, to get a graphic designer, now I'll just jump into Canva. I might knock out a logo within 5 minutes. I might tell it what look, style, and feel I want, and it might return me, 20 different assets for all of my socials.
Yeah.
Like where do you sit on that fence?
Very good question. I'm all for AI.
Yeah.
For one thing, I don't feel like technology threatens design. I feel like it's your job as a creative to understand the tools and the technologies that are coming out to make your job easier. Canva, if you want to use Canva for design, whatever, you're not paying my bills.
Yeah.
So, but I do understand and I also get a bit frustrated by the design ecosystem at the moment because sometimes it's hard. Some people can't equate the value between the human work and the artificial intelligence, but a lot of us can tell the difference. For me, I'm just like, if you're starting out, just do whatever you need to because everyone's at their different stages. For me, if you're just starting out and you just want to get your idea off the ground, go on Canva, go on Fiverr, use an AI logo designer just to get your idea off the ground.
Yeah.
But when you're growing,
Yeah.
please speak to a professional who might be using AI
Yeah, yeah.
themselves, because there's the human approach to it, and the AI is only threatening if you don't use it properly.
Yeah.
I use AI in my job because in Photoshop, if I'm creating like a poster or something and it's portrait,
Yeah.
and back in the day I had to copy and paste one side of something to the other side and extend the background manually. Now I just type in a prompt saying green field with horses if I
Okay.
wanted to, and it will do that. Not perfect, but it'll get the ball rolling and make my job faster.
Yeah.
I also do a lot of content, so like I don't like to write, but I record videos. So I take the transcript of the videos
Yeah.
where I'm talking about branding, talking about design, give it to ChatGPT, upload the file, say analyze my tone of voice,
Yeah.
and write me a LinkedIn article, but avoid these words. And it gives me a LinkedIn article. I just need to change a few things. And it still sounds like me because I
Sure.
said this is my tone of voice in this transcript. Write it like me. It's like something that you feed it, and it regurgitates what you feed.
Yeah.
So it's only threatening if you think it's threatening.
Sure.
There's a lot of opportunity. So
Love that. And in terms of like the leverage, you obviously you're using AI now, like actually in your job, which is interesting, right? As a creative, where would you say your strengths are, like for the future, and also retaining your position, right? You go in, you know, you must work on like big graphic kind of like executions, right? A client must come to you like with a big brand strategy they want to execute upon. Where do you feel like you'll always have a stake in that as a human versus that client going to the machine with a prompt and maybe learning over time, like to develop or enhance the brand strategy? Like, where do you see kind of like in 5 years' time your stake versus the machine being able to improve on your brand strategy that you've built already?
it's funny because I don't even think it's 5 years.
Okay.
I think it's probably 2 years, if
Yeah.
anything, because technology is evolving so fast that last year we were only just talking about ChatGPT. Now it's like, whoa, every job application that you want wants you to know how to talk to a machine. For me, I think it's only going to make my job easier
Good.
because again, the things that I don't like to do, a machine can help me do it much more easily, and it makes up for some of the weaknesses I have. I think it's only an issue if you only rely on the machine or the AI to do your entire job. But it can supplement what you are doing.
And a question on that: do you feel like clients' expectation of what you should be paid as a brand designer has now come down based on the fact that certain elements can be executed by the machine? Like, or do you feel like you still got an expectation of the fee that you charge? Do you feel like that will be sustained?
I think it's probably only going to go up, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. The
And
more people.
what's the reason why you say that? Is it because you'd be able to handle a larger scope of work, or
In
like
part,
what's?
but also I have the perspective of a brand designer that other people don't have. So therefore, I can speak to a AI platform in a way that is more effective than someone that doesn't have that outlook.
Yeah.
So I can ask you the right questions,
yeah,
and it'll
exactly,
give
yeah.
me the right
Yeah.
answers. Whereas if someone that doesn't have that kind of perspective
Yeah.
and that kind of experience,
Yeah.
it will not give them as good an answer,
Yeah.
and they will learn along the way that it's not actually as good as actually having someone like me talk to, use AI
Yeah.
for the same outcome.
Yeah, we speak about a lot about prompts, and that is a skill in itself. I don't think a lot of people realize like what you feed into the algorithm is the benefit of what comes out, right? Like, I think a lot of people think you just type a basic kind of question, but that it's much more complex than that. What tools do you use specifically in your day to day? You mentioned Photoshop, Adobe. Like, what else do you use that enables you to do your work?
Yeah, so I use the entire Adobe suite, and they've come under a lot of fire because of the way they've rolled out their AI stuff.
What have they come in the fight? I'm not
The people,
up to date
the
on it.
community felt like they were being quite dishonest
Really?
about the way they were rolling it out, so a
Okay.
lot of them jumped to another platform that doesn't use AI. Whereas for me, I'm a bit rebellious. I ain't gonna lie, and the what people called me when I was, they used to call me lazy when I was little, right? I've kind of turned that on this head and I said, yes, I'm lazy because I'm going to find the easiest way to do something,
solve that issue.
to
Yeah,
solve a
yeah,
problem. And
yeah.
my whole thing is to solve a problem. So I'm just like, what can help me solve a problem? If it's Photoshop, like I said, the generative generative prompts,
Yeah.
that's cool. If it's Adobe Premiere, it's helps me with the sound. I'm not a sound engineer, but it does help me improve the sound to a certain point. When it comes to, again, the same program, we were talking about editing with the scripts, with the transcript, I've done that as well. It just makes my job a lot easier. So for me, my go-to is everything, everything that has, even Gemini, I use that. Anything that is at my disposal, I'm always going to try it because I'm not the sort of person that will demonize something before I fully understand it.
Yeah. And what does the future look like for you in terms of like the role of what you do right now? What your plans are for the future?
Yeah, good question. Well, one huge focus is how many people I can add value to, and one big focus is my Black Design Circle community. I want it to be one of the most engaged graphic design groups for Black people in the UK. That's one of my goals.
What's the community called, and how can the audience engage?
So it's called the Black Design Circle, and
Okay.
it's on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If you just search the Black Design Circle, you'll find it there. And it's a WhatsApp community. There's a link there to just sign up, and also there's my business Bravery Studio, which I'm trying to grow and to support more culture and innovation-led businesses with great ideas, and they just want to bring the culture out in a very special way. I want to do more and more branding for those kind of businesses. So.
Incredible. Thanks for coming on the podcast,
Thank you
Demi.
so much.
Really appreciate it. We're all about educating the culture, introducing them to new careers, such as yourself, in brand design, and unpacking and demystifying a lot of the areas that they want to get into.
Thank
So
you for having
appreciate
me.
you coming.
Thank
Good
you for having
speaking to
me.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.